All right, so another day and some more projects with old Freddie the Fiat here. And we got some new parts. So we'll show you that and then show you what today's affair is with this right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. And this is Freddie, the Fiat, 1450. Not very many of them left because they were not necessarily the greatest. But this one is going to be much more better by the time we're done with it. So, several things were in the works here. I guess let's start over here so I don't have to keep carrying what's in my hand. But very obviously, this exhaust pipe here is bad. It's all rotted out all through there, and it was blowing smoke everywhere. It was also leaning over. It was probably about like that when I got the tractor. So I grabbed it and bent it back up to get some idea of what its original shape was. And then I set out to trying to find a replacement. Obviously, you can't just get online and order a new exhaust pipe for a 1450 Oliver. I checked everywhere imaginable, obsolete places, nobody, no dice. I thought, well, maybe the extra elbow off of a parts 1365 would work. Well, although this pattern may be similar, it is totally reversed. In other words, on the other one, the two bolts are in front and the one is in the back. So that wasn't gonna go. So that leaves me to my next choice of buying a piece of pipe and welding it on there. And I thought about going and trying to find a muffler shop locally, but it seems like everybody I called doesn't do that anymore. So I don't know. Thanks, economy. I guess you ran everybody out of business or what have you. But I went online and I started looking up exhaust pipes and ordering. And I thought I found what I wanted, and they sent it. And it was not what I wanted, and I'll explain here, because it might help you if you are looking. All right, so if you look up these pipes on the internet, what I was looking for was what they call like a J bend, which is what you see. It looks like the letter J. And in some of the places, certain size diameter pipes, you couldn't get it in that. I wanted 2 1/4 inch. I'm kind of splitting the difference between, I actually think that this is probably 2 inch, but I don't know. I didn't get a real good measurement with it just going like this, you see. But anyway, that's not important. The thing is, the curve is what you have to match. So I looked on websites and tried to order what I wanted, and what I learned that will help you is you need to make sure that the website is measuring it the way that you are measuring it, because apparently some people take the word 6-inch radius or 4-inch radius to mean different things. So the one place that I ordered this from, 6-inch radius, well, their little diagram showed that they wanted you to measure between the inside and inside. So if I do that on this one, I get like 6 1/4. So I thought, okay, by their standards, 6-inch radius, they're measuring inside there. So I ordered the 6-inch radius one. Well, it's 9 1/2 inches in there. So obviously we're not following what they said on their picture, and they were doing what I had assumed would be the case, which is, if you're thinking a radius is half of a circle, I would have thought that you wanted to think of this area as a circle and measure from the inside, in which case that would make this one a 4-inch radius or so. And if you measure this one from halfway in, it would make it 6-inch radius. So that's what they did, but their thing that they had, their diagram with markups on it that I used to measure, was not the same as what was in my brain. So I knew better when I ordered this one. I knew that wasn't going to be what I wanted. You know, I thought it looked awfully, you know, too wide. But then the pictures of some of the ones that I thought were 4-inch looked like they weren't going to work and too narrow. So anyway, this one was a no-go. And it's a shame because I like, it is actually, it's like 16 gauge. It's a little bit heavier. And you say, well, it's not the right shape. No big deal. You just saw off one leg and be done with it. So after I saw that, I debated on whether or not to use it, but it was going to stick away too far. So I got this one, and same company, and now it is going to be what we want. This is slightly thinner. This is a 18 gauge, I believe. But this is more close to what little Freddie's got here going on for him. So what I think I'm going to do is just saw it off right here on the tractor and leave a little bit sticking through. And then we're going to slide that over it and make our marks and figure out where exactly we want it. And then we'll mark it and probably have to take the flange off to get a good weld and what have you. There was something else I was going to say about that while we were doing this. Somewhere here, okay, yes. Hunting up as many original pieces as I could find. I managed to find an original muffler clamp, so obviously we can see that we are much, you know, maybe not much, but it's obviously that we're a bigger pipe than what the original was, so yeah. So we probably can't use that so much. But what we can use to help us gauge this is one of the original braces that it shows in the book that came out to our exhaust pipe. Now, I don't believe that it came out of the hood like this. No. From the pictures I've seen, it looks like it comes back from this here. Okay? So if that's the case, I could not find the... there was like a right and a left, and I could only find one of the two, and I figured they were probably just mirror images of each other, so a guy could just, you know, make himself one. But I'm not sure here exactly. Maybe there was only one. I mean, sure, you wouldn't think that it would go in there. The one I've seen looks like it's coming off of here, and it goes like this. In which case, I'm not real sure where the second one would go, but I'm trying to explain. Let me set you down so you can get what I'm saying. So if we use this as a guide to get our spacing of where our pipe should be, you know, we need to have it out a little bit farther from what it is. And we can do that by when we weld this one on, we're going to have it turned out a little bit more. Because what I don't want is, I don't want the muffler hitting the hood when the hood's open. And that was part of the problem. But I also don't want it sticking way out here where, you know, it's going to catch stuff. So we kind of got to get our best as we can. And I kind of feel like it's probably going to be somewhere in like this neighborhood here. But obviously we'll saw it off and have it. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. But step number one is going to be the old pipe delete, and then we can shorten this one and then hold it up here and figure out what we're going to do. Because yeah, you can see how routed this is. This wasn't going to work. So that's going to be today's project, but I will show you a few more things I got now that I've rambled for like 20 minutes. But next affair, I found not what I wanted, but better than what I had. I wanted a pre-cleaner. The original was like the deluxe pre-cleaner that had this style bowl, and then it had that piece with the screen underneath, you know, that clamps around here and comes up. And I was hoping that this thing would be kind of that style, but it is not. This is like a Ford style. The picture wasn't very good to how this was made, but I figured it was better than what I had because the original is full of holes and the cup is cracked. The only good piece is this bottom piece, and I'm also missing the extra piece of pipe that it shows in there, and I couldn't find that. The diameter I think is 2 1/4 on this, and this one fits right on, and now it's gonna make a liar out of me, but it'll slip right on here, and you can take it off, and then you can open the hood. That's closer to what it's supposed to have, so I'm gonna roll with that for a while until I can accumulate all the pieces I need, because I need a lid. It'd be easier just to find the whole thing, but at the very least, I need a lid, I need to get a new bowl, and then I need a piece of pipe, and I need that bottom screen pre-cleaner piece with the screen that wraps around it. And I don't know if I'll be able to find all that or not, but because I'm not sure if another one of the models used that size or not. That part number was kind of in the Fiat number of parts, so I don't know. I'll have to do more investigating, but for now I think little Freddie's gonna roll with that, because that'll do a better job. And I did find a cup that fits, and I believe it's not perfect. I believe that this is a cup off of a Ford, which is consequently what that pre-cleaner thing was made for. But I'm thinking that this is off of a Ford 5000, maybe it says. And it doesn't, I had trouble getting it up on here where I felt like it wasn't gonna come crashing off, but I should have probably cleaned it up first before test fitting, but I didn't want to waste a lot of my effort on something that wasn't gonna work. It's coming. What's funny about this is, if I wanted this to stay on here, it would fall off and get run over by the tire. But now when I want to take it off, it just doesn't want to. There. Yeah, it's kind of rusty. So I'm thinking now, oh, I see what happened too. That inner cup came up. And I'm not sure if the inner cup is really going to work in my case, but it did fit on there, so I don't know. But what I'm saying is, we'll clean this up and meadow greenify it, and then I think Freddie will have something that will make him usable. Oil level both cups. Well, yeah, so we'll get this all sorted out. See if we, this is the only one of these to be had, so rusty as it is, that seems to be all I could find. Not the only cup for a Ford 5000, but the only one that showed me the dimensions so that I knew what I was doing was actually worth doing. So I'm not sure if I want to just go like that, or if I use the inner cup. We'll try it with the inner cup. If that don't work, we'll try it the other way, but that's gonna get us going. So I think what I will do before we start, I will go ahead and clean this up and get this ready, meadow greenified, so that it can be drying while we're working on our exhaust. That way, at least it feels like we're making some type of progress, you know. That's really kind of rusty and crappy, but you know, we're gonna make it work. So I'll get this cleaned up and spritz it with some meadow greenification, and then we will go to our exhaust project. Okay, things I like apparently, according to Life, are welding on brand new parts. After cleaning this up, it was apparent that this will not hold oil because it was full of holes. And I got it, I thought, welded pretty good, but every time I held it up to the sun, I kept seeing more places next to where I welded. So now we JB welded, and that's as good as that's gonna get. I'll just try to find another one that's better. I'm not very happy about buying parts that are supposed to be usable and then find out they're garbage. So we'll get that, let that dry, and then we'll make it meadow greenified, and we'll move on with our life. Okay, it's time to do an exhaust delete. That's what we're gonna do. Bye-bye, junk exhaust. But we're gonna be smart about it and start down lower, I think. one junk exhaust pipe gone. Now, we obviously need to immediately dunk our wrong pipe in the bucket of used oil. That helps us out. So, but we need to shorten this feller is what I'm saying. We need to get it to where we can put it up there. We might have to do that in 2 stages. I don't know. I don't want to go too much at once, but man, the new metal cuts so much harder than the old metal. This is exactly what I had envisioned. See, that I could slip it over there and weld it good, and then we might need to tweak it with the bending, which I think I can do. This is exactly what I had in mind. So now the question is, do we want to just take the flange off and go for it, or do we want to try to tack weld it in place? I'm thinking that we're going to have to just take the flange off and deal with whatever happens to us. You know, we'll have to find us some kind of gasket to go in there. That ain't going to be easy, but what's a guy going to do? You know, a guy could just weld it in place and be done with it. That kind of sounds like a good idea, don't it? Bet you wouldn't get it all the way around. But it wouldn't necessarily have to be. Just discussing with myself what would be the best. I'm thinking maybe, the more I think about it, to just let sleeping dogs lie and weld it right in place. I'll lay something in there to keep it from, you know, getting hot where I don't want it to. But this is, I really like that. I mean, if we go with, we're not where I think it should have probably been, but I mean, it's livable. We can make this work. I don't know. Not sure what I want to do. I don't think I can. Yeah, see, if I go back, we're going to get into the hood. What to do? That is probably closer to what it would have been. I think I'm going to look at the original picture and see where it comes through. But I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do. All right. I think we got us something here, friends. I just slid a piece of metal up in there to keep everything from getting on anything, but yeah, if we get that brace put in there, I'm thinking we'll have to heat that probably up to get that nut loose. But if we put that back in there, let's say roundabout-ish, we put a clamp around there, that'll help support this, and I think we'll be in business. We got a good surface now to put a muffler on. I think we got her made. All right, I need to get a new muffler clamp because I destroyed that one the other day, and hammer on my muffler a little bit there, but otherwise, little Freddie's looking pretty spiffy. I like that a lot more better, and I think it's going to last us a while too. So hopefully we can get that air cleaner cup fixed up and put in there, and then that project will be done. And then really there's nothing that would be preventing me from using little Freddie for something. I'm thinking that his job is going to be permanently on that driveway maintainer thing. If I just leave it hooked up to that, and I can get it where it'll start every time from the seat, just simple as can be, then that would be a good job for it, where it's not really working very hard at all, but it will still get used enough times a year that it stays running. Because, yeah, leaving something like this sit would be even worse, you know, because things don't like to just sit there. They break down sitting. So it would be better to have a job that it will consistently get used, but not so much that we depend on it and, you know, bad things happen. But yeah, another thing off of our list. And like I said, hopefully we'll be taking little Freddie for a rip pretty soon, doing something around the farm. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.